Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are brand new. My name is MJ and this is my channel called Reading This Life. In today's video, I'm going to talk about all the stuff I've read since the beginning of January, give you an update as to where I am with A Little Life, and maybe hint at some things I'm going to read for February. I'm told myself this year I'm not going to do like a formalized TBR. I'm kind of a mood reader, so I'm kind of just sticking in that direction. Yeah, so that's where we're at. I read a total of 5 books in January and A Little Life. I am not done with A Little Life. I had to put it down because it just got too much for me. I needed just like a quick palate cleanser and went to get Stephen King's short story collection that was recommended by Michael K. Vaughan. So I started that and really good. I haven't finished it. I'm only about 3 stories in, but the Salem's Lot story was really well done. There's a story about rats, which was a lot of fun. So I'm not done with that. I'm gonna finish that this month. But A Little Life, yeah, I'm gonna do a whole dedicated video and a little bit of a vlog to that. I've been kind of recording my feelings throughout reading it. Yeah, so that'll be coming soon. Hopefully I'm gonna finish that sucker this weekend. You know, life happens. So how are you doing? How is everything in your world? I hope everything's going well. I hope everyone is staying safe. It is very snowy here today. So I wanted to start out with showing you some books that could really put you in a springtime mood. These books are all by Georgiana Lane, and they're basically, there's narrative, but they're photo books of different places in the world and the flowers and just scenes, and it's all just so delicious. So we're gonna start off with London in Bloom. Her series is called London in Bloom, Paris in Bloom, and New York in Bloom. I don't know if she has any others coming out, but these are the 3 that she's put out so far, and they are just amazing. I mean, she talks about when the best times are to go and see the flowers, the best flower shops to support local businesses. And in the end, at the end of each book, she actually goes through an arrangement that you can make at home to replicate some of these flowers. But I mean, really, it's just, it really is beautiful. I mean, who would not want to? Look, creating your own London style bouquet. Stunning. So that's London in Bloom. Then we have Paris in Bloom, which is the same format. There's a little bit of narrative, there's a little bit of backstory. She tells you, oh wait, I just saw books. Where are the books? Here are the books. Beautiful, beautiful. Just having a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and flipping through these pages will get you out of a winter funk and get you thinking for spring. Stunning. And like I said, she gives you travel tips, places to hit, and there's always some type of a bouquet or an arrangement that you can make at home. This is New York in Bloom. Here's Bleecker Street. Beautiful. So if you're looking for something different, if you're looking for a really quick read and to just engross yourself in some beautiful springtime photos, I highly suggest picking up one of her books. Some of the books I started in early January, I actually mentioned in an earlier video, so I will put a card up here for that and put a link in the description box below. I don't want to talk about those books again, especially if you've seen that video. I don't want to repeat myself, I don't have to. The first book I completed in January is a book of poetry, and that is by Amanda Gorman, and it is entitled Call Us What We Carry. Now, you may be familiar with her name. She was the inaugural poet for President Joe Biden's inauguration ceremony, and she really did make a splash at it. You know, her poem was absolutely amazing, and this book is equally as amazing. When I listen to audiobooks by the poet, I choose to do so that are narrated by the poet because I want to hear the emotion. I want to hear the inflection in their voice. I want to hear the punctuation. You know, I just want to relish in all of it because it is that artist's creation. And her book of poetry did not disappoint. I believe on audiobook it was about 3.5 hours long. She covers a lot of different topics relative to what's going on with the panorama right now. You know, she talks about heritage and history and the future and the environment, just a number of topics, and it's really powerful. So if you are interested in something new in poetry, check out Amanda Gorman's. Another audiobook that I've finished this month is The First 21 by Frank Farana, also known as Nikki Sixx, the bass player in Motley Crue. Back in my high school days, I loved Motley Crue. When I was in high school, I stood outside in a stadium type concert and waited all day for them to hit the stage. And somehow my friend's father got us backstage. And I remember Tommy Lee running past me and he was going to see Heather Locklear. And I was like, hey, Tommy. But I wanted to see Nikki Sixx. I didn't get a chance to see him. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't think he was in a good way back then. So this book basically talks about the first 21 years of his life. Basically his origin story as to how he became Nikki Sixx, how he became a writer and an artist, and all of the trials and tribulations that he had to go through. His background story doesn't start until about 38 minutes into the audiobook. So he does talk about what's going on with the panorama and his choice of living out in Montana, you know, different life choices that he's made. And he is 63 years old. Oh my gosh, I almost died when I saw that. Because I was always a fan of his when I was in high school. And then when he came out with his own books of poetry, also his 6 a.m. project and the 6 a.m. I think there was radio show, 6 a.m. But yeah, just really, really interesting. If you have a taste for nostalgia, growing up in the 60s and 70s, then you might really like this. I giggled at a lot of the stories because I knew exactly what he was talking about. He also talks about a lot of his influences, such as David Bowie, the New York Dolls, and some other rock and rollers that you probably have heard of. So I think this book was about 4, maybe 5.5 hours, and thoroughly entertained. Gives some good life lessons. You know, I think he really wanted to do this as a part of his legacy. So if you love rock and roll, if you love Motley Crue, if you're gonna see them this year, I think they're going on tour, be sure to check out The First 21 by Frank Farana, aka Nikki Sixx. And also, if you want to do a deep dive, The Heroin Diaries is a really, really powerful book, and it talks about his experience and recovery with alcohol and drugs. So there's also that. Highly recommended. I read that. It was really powerful. And he actually talks about the show that I was at. So that was pretty neat. And that's Nikki Sixx. The next novella that I finished was recommended by Sin. I'll link her channel down below. And this is a horror story called The Great God Pan. And it was written in 1820. When I tell you that I had to go back and double check the publication date, that's what I had to do. This book was engaging. It had me not wanting to put it down because I wanted to see what happened. I wanted to see what the next step was. It is a very short book, and it is jam-packed with a lot of questions about what's happening. I don't want to give a lot away, but just know that it is a horror story. And if I read this back in 1820, oh good God, I probably wouldn't leave the house. So if you're looking for something different, it is, like I said, about 80 pages long, short, but really good and freaky in 1820. That's all I have to say. So another audiobook that I was able to finish today was Long Way Down by Jason Reynolds. Now, I've heard about this for a few years and I keep forgetting about it. And I believe he may have had an article in the New York Times talking about the differences between young adult and adult writing. This book, I thought it was pretty powerful. It takes place over the span of 60 seconds. 60 seconds. And it is written in a poetry style, I would say. The audiobook is read by the author, which is always important to me, so I can get the rhythm of the words and the emotion and the inflection, and it just translates better for me than if the author wasn't the narrator. So in short, this book also was up for a number of awards, If you haven't read it, or if you haven't heard of it, do check it out. Like I said, it takes place over 60 seconds, and it is a brother trying to make the decision of avenging his brother's murder. And it happens in an elevator. So that's all I'm gonna say. So if you've never heard of it, if you've never, if it's never crossed your TBR, check it out. Also this month, I am in the progress of listening to and finishing a book called Walking with Ghosts by actor and world famous Irishman Gabriel Byrne. He is one of my favorite actors. You don't see him that often anymore, but I remember him in the movie Excalibur. Remember that from 1981? If you've never seen the movie Excalibur and you love King Arthur, Knights of the Round Table, watch it. Watch it. It may be on Netflix, it may be on Amazon. It is a long movie, but it is fabulous. If you love Lord of the Rings and that style, it is gritty, it is tough. You will see some very familiar faces in there. There is a very young 18, 19-year-old Helen Mirren. Who else is in it? I can't think of the actor's name, but the actor that plays Jean-Luc Picard, he's in it, and he looks the same. Also, I can't think of this guy's name either. God, all these names are escaping me. The Taken actor. What's his name? Yeah, that's it. He's in this movie too. There are just a lot of people that really got their start doing this movie, but Gabriel Byrne is one of them. And he tells the story of his life and experiences in his own style by telling stories. And he will bring in voices of the other people that he is mentioning. Really, really enjoying it so far. He goes through when he was a little kid, when he goes to school. He talks about some things in Hollywood, running into some famous actors. Talks about working on the Excalibur set. So I'm only halfway through, but I am really, really enjoying it. And he could talk all day in that Irish brogue. I mean, come on. So if you're looking for something different in a memoir, check his out. Another book that I'll be tackling ASAP because my library hold is running out is called Present Tense Machine. This is a book that came out maybe about 3 weeks ago, and it is a mother-daughter story. I believe there are parallel universes that are separating the two. So as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I'm in, sold, sci-fi girl, I'm here for parallel universes. So I haven't started it. I'm hoping to get to it as soon as I finish A Little Life, which hopefully will be this weekend. All right, guys, I am out of here. I am going to make myself a cup of coffee, get this weekend started, and grab my book. Oh, and I have a sweatshirt that says, weekends, coffee, and my book. All right, so I hope everyone is doing well. I will see you in the next video. So until next time, goodbye for now. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment down below.